Tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs at Nashville. Tonight.
Welcome back to the Bridgestone Arena. The Leafs visiting the Nashville Predators for the first time since 2011, and in honor of Greg Millen and Tootsie's last night, the Cowboys of the Corded Corrals have Jonathan Bernier, who is 7-1-0 lifetime against the Predators with a 1.88 goals against average against Pekka Rinne. 2-1 against the Leafs, 2.87 in the goals against average there. And you were singing to your heart's content last night. Good for you. What a spot. And you've never been to Nashville. You got to get down here and enjoy not only the country music and everything else, but the people who are down here are just terrific. We're underway, and we're glad you're along with us. Kevin Klein bringing the puck to center. Flips it in on the right wing side, and down into the corner goes Morgan Riley after it. Dave Bolin bumped off the puck there on a good hit by Clune. A puck comes back to the blue line. Predators play it off into the left wing side. Clune trying to play it in front, and that was steered wide of the net by Bernier. Franson takes care of his man in the corner, but along the board, some good cycling here by Paul Gaustad. Former Sabre gets it around back of the net, poked into the near corner once more. Back it comes along the boards, kept in there by Clune. It goes to the far side. Pinching down is the defenseman Ekholm, and the Maple Leafs, Bolin gets it off a stanchion, and that gets Orr out of the zone. Orr to center, and he's going to backhand in, and the Leafs will get a change going. Round back of the net is Shea Weber. Veteran defenseman gets it ahead now for Mike Fisher. Fisher up on the left wing side, trying to get in on the wing now is Wilson. His shot is smothered by Bernier and held for a face-off in the Toronto zone.
Gaustad with the big line to start off for the Nashville Predators. And they got a heavy forecheck here going. They go right after the defense. And Gaustad, who's 6'5" with a big check as well, and Clough as well. So they're going to come out this way. This is the way they play, and it's going to be a big test for the Toronto Maple Leafs to see how they're going to make out against a very assertive forecheck that Nashville will give you here.
Fisher, Hornquist, and Wilson out there for the Predators as Phaneuf gets the puck up on the right wing side, and a left wing feed for Van Riemsdyk doesn't work. We'll play it back into the Toronto zone, and Phaneuf with a pass ahead for Kessel. That went astray, but icing is waved off. Predators thinking that it might have been icing. Instead, it goes down into the corner. Bouncing puck with Van Riemsdyk trying to dig it out of the maze of legs. It does come back to the blue line, and Carl Gunnarsson thought better of trying to find Phaneuf, and now it's played out into the center ice area. Gunnarsson backhands it into the zone. Both teams are going to change on the fly. Forsberg with Legwand and Nystrom out there now for the Nashville Predators. Laid up ahead at center for Forsberg. He got it to the line, turned over there, but Kadri couldn't get away. Bouncing puck to the near side. Brought in now by David Legwand. Into the slot. That was poked away there by Kadri, but along the boards, maintaining it is Nystrom. The veteran gets it into the far corner for Kevin Klein. Around back of the net again. Here is Nystrom trying to work out from a sharp angle. His shot hit the side of the goal, but Legwand is onto the puck. The Leafs are being hemmed in their own end as Klein gets a shot away. That was blocked, and it comes out into the center ice area as David Brohl goes to the bench. A couple of youngsters in their first NHL game, and David Brohl along with Josh Levo, a couple of Ontario boys, as we get an offside at the Toronto blue line. Tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee.
Well, for the Nashville Predators, that heavy forecheck that we've used to accustomed doing in here, so far we haven't seen much of it. And even strength, as the Predators have been great on the power play, not so great even strength so far this year. And the Maple Leafs, they got to weather the storm here early. And so far, they've done an excellent job doing just that.
Ranger gets the puck up on the left wing boards, and now it's pushed out at center, and Levo tips it down into the end. Josh Levo is not going to get to it before an icing is charged. So it'll be brought back into the Toronto zone, and the veteran behind the bench of the Nashville Predators in his 1,118th game, all behind the Predators bench, is Barry Trotz.
Yeah, and he'll go line to line, or line for line here a lot, and he's got the Fisher line right out against the Bozak line to start the game off, which is really no surprise, as Fisher's been a terrific checker in this league for a lot of years.
You think these two guys know what they want when they're looking for a player? They've been together for 15 years. Unheard of in this day and age of knee-jerk reactions. Hashtag Philadelphia Flyers. Here are the Leafs playing it off the boards to center ice. Bartley going back to retrieve it, overskated the puck, but it gets to Ryan Ellis, and Ellis is going to launch it into the Toronto zone. Near side for Ranger. Ranger gets it up the middle, and the Leafs carry to center with Orr. Left wing side, Jay McClement. Here's the new dad in over the line, cycling it into the corner and around back of the net. Carl Gunnarsson is in deep, lifts it back along the boards. Carter Ashton trying to get it free. Ashton backhands behind the net, but it's going to be picked off by Matthias Ekholm and gets it out at center ice. Or Ekholm, rather. And back down into the Toronto zone it goes. Gunnarsson in against the boards. Ties it up, but out comes Jay McClement now. He'll bank it through center. That's going to miss everybody, but go right in on goal. And Pekka Rinne decides better of playing it forward and dishes it off back of the goal. Changes coming here for both teams. Rattled off the wall to center. Riley takes charge for the Leafs. Got it ahead. A nice little touch pass to Spring Bozak. Drops for Van Riemsdyk. Oh, and he just missed that far post. Kept in by former Predator Cody Franson in around back of the net. Now puck into the near corner and back of the goal for Bozak. Bozak tries to work his way free from Matt Cullen. Plays it back for Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk cycling it back, but it's cut off by Kevin Klein. The Kitchener native tied up there by Kessel. Leafs with their own bit of cycling being done here. Bozak able to get the puck free. Back to the point it comes, but out of the reach of Morgan Riley, and back to center ice it comes. Pass ahead at center, and here's Riley. Up on the wing, tipped in by Kessel to allow teammates to change, but it goes over the glass and out of play.
The first period of tonight's Leaf TV broadcast from Nashville is brought to you by Purolator, excitement delivered, by 5 Hour Energy, and by Ford. Go first.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Around on the boards from Bernier for Lupo. He gets it airborne to center. David Brohl couldn't come up with it, and the Predators will whack it out into the center ice area. Kadri with a forechecking hit there. Brought out by Phaneuf. His pass goes wide. Brohl won't get to it in time, but forces his man into the corner. Now Kadri in there with line mates to try and dig it free. And it comes off the stick and out onto the left wing side. Out come the Predators across the line. Fisher trying to drag it in. Wilson tries to help him out, looking for a man in front of the net. Lots of traffic there, but Fisher couldn't get it out in front. Hornquist was stationed there with Fisher. Back to the point now for Seth Jones, a shot, and that's wide of the net. Phaneuf trying to get to it on the far side, beaten to the puck by Wilson. Wilson gets it back to the point to Jones. On the side, a shot right on. There's a big rebound in front, and it's kicked free, and David Brohl is going to chip it off the boards, but with a little bit too much oomph. And an icing charge is going to bring all of those players back into a face-off in the Toronto zone to the left of Jonathan Bernier.
Well, Joffrey Lupul did not practice yesterday. He got hit in the Colorado game by Peritot right in the neutral zone. Just a harmless collision that turned out to be a train wreck, really, as both players weren't watching where they were going. He didn't practice yesterday. He tried his leg this morning, and he looked pretty good. And so far, so good for Lupul here early in the game.
Puck comes back to the blue line. Ellis sends it into the corner. Centering pass in front of the net. Forsberg couldn't get a shot. And it's up on the left wing side for Brohl. This time he rolls it into the offensive end to give his line mates a chance to change. Ellis going back. No score here in the first period. Glad you're along with us on Leafs TV. Forsberg with a pass, but it is ruled offside at the Toronto blue line with 13:27 left to go in the first. No score. Predators and Leafs here on Leafs TV.
I think a couple of reasons why Bernier is starting tonight. One is look at his start so far as a Toronto Maple Leaf. And the second reason, I would think he is 7-1 with a 1.88 average against the Nashville Predators, lifetime, with one shutout. And this kid, I talked to him this morning a little bit, and he said the one thing that he's going to have to get used to again is playing a lot, getting into a rhythm and playing every other day, or if he does in fact get the starting job. And that's something that he's enjoying, but it's a bit of a change from what he's been used to the last couple of years in a backup role.
Forsberg brought the puck into the zone, but it's broken up there by Jake Gardiner. And the Leafs, Boland trying to get it into the zone, has to go over the boards and into the Nashville bench. And so there'll be a face-off coming in the neutral zone. And David Boland has been a nice addition thus far for the Maple Leafs with a couple of goals and an assist.
Yeah, and some great leadership qualities as well in the room. A quiet leader, but lets us talking pretty much do all the noise on the ice. And I love the way he goes to the net. That is something that you're going to see a lot of throughout the season.
He had 282 points in 190 games as a London Knight.
Crazy. Over
3 years. So for him to score some points, he knows where the net is. Here's a chance now at the side of the goal. Ashton couldn't jam it home against Rene. Here's Jay McClement working out of the corner, far side, tied up along the boards by Victor Bartley. McClement working the wall and doing it with a little bit of efficiency here as he tried to find Ashton into the corner, and it's bumped out into the center ice area. Leafs going back into their own zone, and it's played along the boards. Ashton couldn't get it in deep. Ryan Ellis regroups the puck, and it's tipped down into the zone by Rich Clune, and back to retrieve it is Jake Gardiner. Gardiner for Paul Ranger. Ranger rolls the puck out at center. That got away from a Predator and across the line. It was knocked right back out at center ice. Or the offside waved off as the Preds played it back into their own zone. Now they get it out past the blue line, and the pass springs in over the line. Dropped for Weber, a shot, and that went wide. Fisher on the far side, back to the blue line to Seth Jones. To Fisher again, looking for traffic in front of the net, but it doesn't materialize as the puck is brought out on the left wing by Bozak. Bozak to center. Chips it in on the right side. After it is Van Riemsdyk. He takes his man down with a swinging poke check that took out legs instead of making contact with the puck, and the first penalty of the game is going to go to the Maple Leafs JVR for tripping.
Yeah, a little bit too aggressive here on the forecheck, and he swings the stick just a little bit and catches Jones when he's turning, and Jones is not quite on his edges here when the stick hits him, and that's why he goes down. And the first power play of the game goes to the Nashville Predators. And the Predators, a couple of power play goals in their last contest in the first period, and a penalty shot as they took an early 3-0 lead against Minnesota and went on to win the game.
Leafs have surrendered 2 goals against and 11 times short. Predators are 6th. And Jay McClement gets the puck out at center ice. We should quickly welcome Reed McClement to Leaf Nation. He and Mum Leslie are doing well at home, and Dad is out penalty killing. Down into the corner is Phaneuf unable to get to it. Swung back to the blue line for Shea Weber. Weber with Jones on the point. The pass comes this side, deflected there by Carl Gunnarsson as it goes back in along the boards. Phaneuf trying to poke it along the wall there against Forsberg. Forsberg on the far side, back to the point to Weber. Takes the shot to Jones, bouncing disc. Can't get the shot away. Jones forced back to the blue line. He'll get the puck sent back. Now he looks into the slot with a shot. That was picked away by Bernier. Lots of traffic in front of the net. Hornquist providing the screen. Back to the blue line as Mason Raymond couldn't get to it. Jones fakes the shot. Dishes it off on the near side. Forsberg back to Jones. Over for Weber. Back to Jones again. Near side this time for David Legwand. Into the slot for Forsberg. Intercepted and sent out and down the ice by Dion Phaneuf. Forsberg, the name sound familiar? It should. Dad wasn't too bad a player in Colorado. Among other stops. Up on the right wing side. Smith gets across the line. Over on the far side. Bouncing puck comes back to the blue line, but it's picked off and brought out by Bozak. Bozak across the line, dropping it back, he gets it again, shooting, trying to get to the puck was Bolin, and he was upended. Brought back at center ice, here are the Nashville Predators. In across the line, dropping it back for Fisher. Fisher to the blue line and into the chest. It is smothered by Bernier and held.
Another example of why Bernier has been so impressive. A little bit of pressure off the rush from Nashville, and once again, he just shuts it right down with a terrific save from 60 feet, but good traffic in front. And you watch the way he'll move into this puck, and when he does that, he just inhales the puck, and there is no rebound at all for the Predators who are waiting on the doorstep.
Face off to the right of Bernier. The draw won by the Predators, but it is intercepted and quickly set down the ice by Jay McClement. Rene will leave it there. And around back of the net comes the power play, which has just a second left. And across the line, it is launched down into the zone. Here's Franson along the wall, and it is Van Riemsdyk getting it out. Taken to the boards there was McClement. Puck is banked to the line, but too far. Icing's going to be called here, and it's going to be brought back into the Nashville zone.
Now, some good young talent here. They get Forsberg on a trade with the Washington Capitals, and that was a terrific trade. And then Seth Jones, nobody could believe that he was available at fourth, and he played 25 minutes the other night against Minnesota, and he is averaging just over 23 on the season, to give you an idea of how well he's played here early in his National Hockey League career.
At the line, broken up and flipped down into the Toronto zone, and Lupul is going to go back and retrieve it. Bouncing puck. Lupul unable to get to it. Grabbed by Paul Gaustad and fed back of the net, but the Leafs turn it away. And it is launched out into the center ice area, a little bit too far for Lupul. And it's back up onto the right wing side and peppered back into the Toronto zone by Rich Kuhn. Gardner got away from a hit, but the puck remains in the Toronto zone. Back into the slot. Gaustad fired it wide, and a penalty coming here. Another shot. Everybody seemed to stop. I think there was a whistle, and yes, there's a penalty coming here. And we'll sort it out. It is going to the Predators, I believe.
Penalty on Nazem Kadri, former player with the Capitals and the Colorado Avalanche, has renewed his career down here in Nashville.
And here is the cross-check right in front of the net there on Kadri. And the Nashville Predators with a very assertive penalty kill. They really chase hard, and so you're going to have to move the puck quickly on the power play, and you can catch Nashville out of position if you do it.
And all power plays in tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from Nashville, brought to you by Just Energy, energy made easy. And it is shot out and down the ice. Actually, now that I think about it, Forsberg's dad was a carpenter in Sweden.
Yes.
Otherwise,
and
we've got
Denver too.
A Springer show topic coming up here shortly.
Far side now for Franson. Down low, a bank pass comes to the near wing to Kessel. He misplayed it in trying to tip it in front of the net. It's an easy clear for the Predators' penalty kill. And back behind the net now is Dion Phaneuf to Bozak. Being hounded as he hits the line with a pass for Van Riemsdyk. Carried to the half boards, fed back for Kessel. That was blocked. Now it comes back to the blue line, and Ranger can't keep it in. Ranger along with Cody Franson. And did that get touched? Apparently it did, just barely, by Van Riemsdyk. Round back of the net is Ekholm. Can't get it out. Near side for Ranger, and a wrist shot doesn't make it through. And it'll be brought slowly to center ice by Kevin Klein, and the Kitchener native sends it out and down the ice. 7:24 remaining in the period. 38 seconds left to go in the power play. Kadri back at the blue line, works to the half boards, still has the puck. He's got Raymond going to the front of the net as it comes back to Ranger. Ranger over on the far side for Jake Gardner. Gardner to Kadri. Kadri looking in front of the net. Lupul was there, comes in front, the shot by Ranger went over top of the net. Nicely set up, Lupul a drive, and he whipped that wide. Ranger fakes the shot, And Lupul's not going to be able to keep it in for him. Just a couple of seconds left in the power play. Weber into the far corner. That's blocked. It comes into the slot. That was blocked again. Here's Mason Raymond now back to the blue line. Raymond with some traffic in front takes advantage of it. Kadri may have deflected that, but it went wide. Kadri back to the net with Weber. There's Lupul barging into the far corner with it. Back to the point. Long wrist shot is gloved by Pekka Rinne. So some good scoring chances there. The best one might have been the deflection by Kadri, but it went just wide.
Yeah, and Ranger waltzes in from the point as well, and a real good play here, give and go down low. And Ranger one times it. Rinne is there, but over the net it goes, and then Lupul. Good puck movement here by the Maple Leafs as they do catch the penalty killers of Nashville running around a little bit. But you got to hit the net there, is twice on that. Good scoring chances by the Maple Leafs, and they didn't hit the net.
First Leaf shot came 6 minutes and 19 seconds into this contest. Gunnarsson for Phaneuf. Works around back of the goal. Now running out of some room over there. Phaneuf carries around back of the goal up on the near side. Ashton gets it out. And a 2-on-1 with David Boland in with a backhand try. And Rinne read that well, feeling he wouldn't get the pass across. Made a pretty good save on the short side as we get some shoving in behind the net. But it appears that it is breaking up. No score, the Leafs and Predators. Molson Canadian Leaf Hockey here from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville.
Mark Nystrom was signed as a free agent here in Nashville in the offseason. Of course, he is the son of Bob Nystrom, who was an unbelievable New York Islander in his day, April 25th, 1978 against the Toronto Maple Leafs in Game 5. And he was one tough customer, but he could play as well. And right around Brian Glennie scores on Palmateer. And what a series that was, if you remember. It went 7 games, and Lanny McDonald with the winner to give the Leafs the series eventually.
Yeah, he did it with a busted wrist, too.
And after that loss to the Leafs, that Islander team became, if it wasn't already, a dynasty. Along the boards, McClement trying to dig it out of a maze of legs. It does squirt free. Carter Ashton trying to find Orr, and as it's played back towards the blue line, that went astray. Bernier's out of the goal to play it and left it there for Jake Gardiner, and he just narrowly missed a hit there from Clune.
It's been a real good period so far for the Maple Leafs. Good, strong positional road period, and they really haven't given Nashville too many chances to score so far.
Taken to the boards, puck back to the net. Ranger has his man pinned. A wraparound attempt didn't work as Gardiner got there with a quick stick. And it's up on the left wing side, played back by Ashton for McClement. To the red line and down into the zone it goes. Carter Ashton going in there with a hit. McClement couldn't come up with the loose puck. Victor Bartley gets it up on the left wing side, and out come the Predators. They'll launch it in, and both teams are trying to get some change going. Gunnarsson around back of the net, running out of some room, but banks it off the glass to center. Van Riemsdyk, rink wide. Kessel. Bozak's in front of the net as it comes to Van Riemsdyk. Oh, and a quick touch shot by Van Riemsdyk forced Rinne into his best save of the period.
Tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from Nashville is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
And transition again from one side to the other seems to be working for the Maple Leafs, and Pekka Rinne, for a big man, sure does get across in a hurry. And Van Riemsdyk does everything right. He gets it away. Great save.
6'5" and 206. And he's been doing a lot more rehabbing than getting ready for a season, but he has started maybe a little slowly, but this guy is a premier goaltender in this league. A sweeping pass in front of the net went right through the blue paint. Cleared by Phaneuf, but not out. Spalling along the boards, and a shot went just wide of the Toronto goal. Another shot by Weber goes over top of the net. Jones trying to help out on the far side. Fisher plays it high, and it's cut off there with a high stick by Bozak. And so play is whistled dead.
And again, the Nashville Predators, they will go to the net. And particularly knowing the way Bernier has played in this building against them. Hornquist, the very last player, or in the last round taken by the Nashville Predators a couple of years ago, and boy, what a player he has been for them. And they've done a nice job here in Nashville picking up players late in drafts, and he is one of them.
230th.
230th overall in the 05 draft.
Draw to the right of Bernier, and the draw won by the Predators, who've been dominant in the face-off circle thus far. Centering pass doesn't reach the front of the goal. McClement trying to push it up the wall and get some assistance there from Mason Raymond to get it out at center. Dave Boland on this line as a makeshift unit here with 3:49 to play in the period has played in over the line. Josh Lebo coming over the boards now, and it's back down into Toronto territory, and an icing charge is going to be bringing a face-off back in the Nashville end.
Yeah, it really started for Josh Lebo in the prospects camp in July, where he turned some heads very early with some terrific play with the youngsters, and he just has been getting better ever since. And he had a good camp after that in London, and he's going to get a chance now, as are a lot of these young players throughout the season.
Well, he had the 2-goal game in the final preseason test, albeit it was against really an American Hockey League affiliate of the Detroit Red Wings, but he was impressive in that game as well. Here's a chance for Craig Smith driving the net, and it was poked away there, and a save made by Bernier. Backhand pass by Bozak goes to the far side. Riley plays it around back of the net, and the Predators will get it up on the left wing side, and Eric Nystrom challenged there by Cody Franson, played around to the near side. He'll chip it to the line. Riley kept it in, but it hit a leg, and now bounced to center, and backpedaling is Franson, and he'll play it up the middle, and Bozak turns with Van Riemsdyk and Kessel. Riley back for Bozak. Ahead for Kessel, but he was turning towards the bench, and the Predators have it back in their own zone. Pass on the left wing is played down into the Toronto end. Bernier down on the near side for Ranger. A pass gobbled up there as Bozak had his pocket picked, and Seth Jones regroups the puck now for the Predators. Fired in by Weber. Round back of the net far side, gobbled up there by Jake Gardner. A pass to David Brohl, and it is sent high and down into the Nashville zone for an icing. And right back into the Toronto end it will come with 2:21 to play in the first period.
Carlyle's emphasized the last couple of days the neutral zone. You cannot keep giving pucks away in that area if you're going to be successful in this league, and the Leafs have given up way too many chances for his liking. This period has been much better as the turnovers have been cut down considerably for Randy Carlyle's group in this period so far.
Shots are just 5-3 in favor of Nashville. Against the boards, rattled into center ice territory past Klein. He has it freed up on the left wing, brought in now by Clune. A pass in front of the net. Hendricks couldn't get to it. He was forced wide, back at the blue line, brought in and knocked down as Klein, and it is played to the line but not out. Kept in by Gostad. Far side, a shot, Bernier down. And with some traffic in front of the net, Bernier makes a pretty big save there to hang on as we get a discussion with the official about a point of order by Matt Hendricks.
Bernier's not a big man, but he's very good at looking through traffic, and give Ranger credit here. He pushed his man right out of the way, and that was enabled Bernier to move in again, and no rebound. Terrific play there on the right of your screen by Paul Ranger to clear the way so that Bernier could see the puck.
Hendricks was complaining that his stick was slashed and broken in half by the Ranger effort, but the official did not warrant a penalty on the play. And so the draw to the right of Jonathan Bernier. Played in along the boards. Gunnarsson ties up his man, back of the net for Mike Fisher, but he couldn't come away with it. Van Riemsdyk circles the goal and gathers some skating speed and some room. He's it to the line and in on the right wing with a shot. Rene looking for that. He felt it, but wasn't sure he had control of it, but was able to find it in time to hold for a face-off.
And you wonder why the coach was a little upset with the neutral zone. It wasn't just there, the giveaways the most in the National Hockey League at the moment. The odd thing is they have the most takeaways also, so they're giving it away, but their speed, they're getting it back. But You know that Randy Carlyle, being a defensive-minded coach, although they're winning, as he mentioned, you can't complain when you win. He'd like to win a little different way as well as this season progresses.
It's a subjective statistic by those counting. I mean,
Yep.
in essence, if you carry the puck to center ice and slap it into the other person's end, are you not giving the puck away? You know, it depends on who goes through it, but it is a subjective thing from different rinks.
You would hope not.
No, exactly. Here's Wilson in the corner, getting it back to the point. Jones spinning to backhand it in. Here is Mr. Underwood working back into the corner. Actually, Mike Fisher. Although in this city, I think he probably plays a little second fiddle to his country and Western Star wife. As back of the goal here is Phaneuf, rolling it out past everyone down the ice. This looks like it's going to have enough to go for icing and will. 43.0 seconds, and there's Mike Fisher. And billboards of Carrie Underwood all over Nashville for a big show coming up in a new release.
He's a perfect third-line guy in this league, and he hasn't produced perhaps as much as they would like here in Nashville, but he's really settled in for Barry Trotz in that third-line position as a checking center who can score as well and has obviously some tremendous leadership abilities.
Shot glove save by Bernier. He had to get low to see that through a maze, made the save. He'll get a change of players here for a face-off in his own zone. Ekholm with a pretty good shot.
Through traffic, and again Bernier finds it. I think Mike's batching it out right now as Carey's working on a show in New York City, so it's tough on them, you know, with the travel that they both do. It's got to be difficult.
And I'm not sure whether he has learned to play the fiddle, but he's just second fiddle here.
Nobody likes to hunt. He does a lot of that in the area when she's not around.
Well,
although I don't think he tells her that.
All right. The hills of Tennessee are full of game, that's
yes,
for
they
sure.
are.
Here's Lupul around back of the net, trying to come out in front of the backhand. Rene down, and one of the Leafs ends up piled on top of him. And that is Nazem Kadri. And there'll be a face-off in the circle to the left. Jay McClement out on this line with Lupul and Kadri. So Randy Carlyle's been mixing and matching a little bit other than the big line.
Yeah, and I like Kadri's game so far tonight. He seems to have a little more jump. He's had a couple of chances to score. He's been engaged physically, and that's the way he has to play to be a successful forward in this league. A little bit of an edge. If he has that, normally he's having a good night.
Draw one by the Leafs. Franson at the blue line. Off to Mason Raymond. His shot is right on. A big rebound. Raymond bunts it out in front of the net, but unable to reach it was Kadri, and now it's played down into the Toronto zone. Into the corner with less than a second to go, and there's the horn to end the first period. No scoring and not many chances. 8-6 the shots favoring Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville, who normally comes out in a hurry, didn't in this period, mostly because of the strong defensive play by the Toronto Maple Leafs as they controlled the period. The shots just 8-6 in favor of Nashville. Very few chances by either team in period number one.
So we'll go to the dressing rooms tied at nothing here in Nashville. No scoring, and the Leafs had a tough time in the face-off circle, winning just 26% of their face-offs. As we get a look at the front office staff, Dave Poulin, Claude Loiselle in attendance, and Dave Nonis back in Toronto. Took ill a couple of days ago with a bit of a viral infection, but is feeling fine and is back in amongst everything and getting going. And the two boys here are running the operation for this one-game road trip. Randy Carlyle and his team in a scoreless tie. 8-6 the shots favoring the Predators, but chances at the net with block shots and those that were missing the target. It was a 15-14 edge Toronto. So fairly even first period. Each team unable to score with a man advantage the one time they had it. Franson backpedals in his own zone, plays it up on the wing, cut off by Hendricks. A sweeping pass goes wide of the net. Franson chops at it. And did that go off the stick? Yes, it did, says the referee. So the faceoff is coming outside the blue line and no penalty.
Well, there's quite a connection here between Morgan Rielly and Seth Jones. They played for the Vancouver Vipers and Adam Hockey, if you can imagine, the brick tournament, and they're terrific friends. what great players they both are. My
Imagine
goodness,
that
what a
Adam
future.
team.
Imagine.
Yeah. Well, Cody Hodgson and Steven Stamkos were on the same minor hockey team growing up as well. It's not a strange thing to have happen, but makes that team a pretty good one to try and beat. Here's a chance for Legwand in over the line, pulls back, off a skate, it comes free, and the Leafs are able to get it out on the wing. Mason Raymond unable to backhand that pass ahead, and so it is back into the Toronto zone, and here's Jake Gardiner. Got it ahead. Franson takes a quick drop pass and then springs it up on the left wing. David Boland in over the line. Sweeps it through the slot area. Nobody home. Gardiner pinches to try and keep it in and does. Took a look across ice but couldn't get it to Dave Boland. And out at center ice come the Predators. Launching it in wide of the Toronto goal. Now back of the net. Out to the far side. Trying to come out was Forsberg. He was too well covered. Nifty little move there. And the Maple Leafs get Levo to send it down into the Predator zone. No score here in the second period. Left wing feed across the line was Ryan, or at least Seth Jones. He couldn't penetrate. Fisher turns, dropping it off. Wilson and Hornquist on the line with him. Hornquist trying to come out of the corner on the near side. Slides it back into the corner, and we've got a penalty here for hooking. And it's going to be, I believe, Dion Phaneuf who's going to the box. So Phaneuf, who led all Leaf players in ice time in the first period, heads to the penalty box.
Just a little stick on the gloves behind the net, or actually coming up the side boards. And he'll come up the half boards here, and he'll just put the stick right there into the gloves on Hornquist. And that was enough to put the arm up and give the Predators a power play.
Wilson gets it back of the net. It comes to the side of the goal, fed around on the boards, and it bounces off a leg to come into the slot, but now recovered and held by Nashville's power play. To the point to Cullen. Over on the near side, a drive by Ellis is deflected wide of the goal by Bernier. Into the corner now, here's Smith. Craig Smith holding, trying to play it back of the net. It was partially deflected by Cody Franson, but now they get it to the outside and they'll try and work the power play again. Back to the blue line it comes. Out of the near side for Ellis. Far side and a shot. Bernier the save and the rebound went into the corner. Grabbed off again by Wilson. Wilson drops it back for Matt Cullen. Cullen to the near side to Ryan Ellis. Into the slot. Back to Cullen again. They'll work it around to the outside and Cullen gets it returned. Cullen working down to the half boards. Drops it back for Ellis. Ellis being forced outside, long shot blocked in front. Another shot is stopped. Franson has broken his stick. Bozak trying to get it out, and he will. Jay McClement skating it out at center. McClement's in over the line. He'll get a wrist shot away, and it's well wide of the goal, but he'll peel to the bench. Leafs dodge a bit of a bullet there with the long change and a broken stick. Legwand across the line. Keeping it alive on the near side. Forsberg launches it high into the air, wide of the net. Jake Gardiner to the side of the goal, spins it back, and it's going to be backhanded out at center ice by the Leafs, then played back in by Mason Raymond, and that was ill-advised, as now the Predators are back into the power play and set up near side. Weber a drive, and he whistled that just wide. Legwand tipping it to the line, but not out. Raymond couldn't get a piece of it. Back to the blue line it comes on a drive. Another save made there by Bernier. Back to the blue line again for Weber. Weber to the far side, kept alive by Jones. Back to Weber, and into the chest of Bernier. It is held. Bernier maybe with his best stretch of having to bail the Leafs out when Mason Raymond had a chance to ice the puck.
Yeah,
chose not to.
That's exactly where I'm going with this, Joe. I mean, Raymond had it in the neutral zone. That's when you drill it down, and he ended up putting it back in the Toronto zone. And this is the end result. Good puck movement here by Nashville. But again, a good one-timer, but all the way in was a clear vision for Bernier, and he makes another terrific save without a rebound. This is a recording.
Lupul against the boards. Phaneuf is out of the box. The penalty is over. And it's poked to the line, but not out. A pass to the near side doesn't work. Gobbling it up, though, is Eric Nystrom. He couldn't find an opening. Big Gostad is in there into the forecheck now for the Predators. And Morgan Riley is able to dig it free, and the Maple Leafs are able to get it out. Pass into the right wing for Lupul. He'll backhand it in as Broll goes into the corner. The Broll dozer, as he's called in junior hockey, out it to the line but couldn't keep it in. Now they have to clear the zone, and the Predators have it, and Klein will get it out at center ice. Gaustad to the right wing side. Long shot stop, big rebound in front. And it's carried to safety now by Lupul. He had it knocked off his stick, but Morgan Rielly carries in across the line. Rielly holds. Rielly in traffic now, just plays it around back of the net. Lupul is taken to the boards. And the puck is played up on the near wing as Gardner pinched. Now here's Paul Ranger being chased as Cullen was in pursuit, but it is played back out into the center ice area. Levo couldn't get by the defense. Brought back in again by Hendricks. Hendricks is stopped. Puck goes free. Dave Bolland couldn't come up with it, but now here's Josh Levo with it. Levo lifting it down into the zone. The Innisfil native goes in around back of the net after it. Laid up on the wing and brought out at center ice again by Nashville. To the line and just onside, and the wrist shot caroms off the shin pad of Carl Gunnarsson up into the screen, out of play.
I was going to bring back that Mason Raymond play, just an example of normally when you go back and a play like this, you're asking for it. And here's Raymond here. He's got the right idea. On that particular play, Gardner was asking for it as well. It turned out to be a bad pass. Gardner never gets it out. And that resulted in a real good one-timer by Weber from the point. And some considerable time in the Leaf zone.
Especially when you're in the second period and you've got the long change. You get a chance to ice the puck no matter where you are. You got to get it down. Put up in the near corner. Off to Bozak. Bozak got it ahead to Kessel. He couldn't make any movement with it. Now a loose puck to the near side. Fed ahead by Seth Jones. He and Weber were the easy leaders in ice time as far as the Predators were concerned. Centering pass, and unable to get a stick on it there was Bozak. A centering pass again. Bozak trying to get it away from Fisher. Kept in, and a weak wrist shot by Van Riemsdyk didn't make the net. Bozak into the near corner now for Toronto. Unable to get it back to the blue line where Gunnarsson was waiting, and a drop pass now to Mike Fisher. That stop. Where's the rebound? It's kicked into the corner by Bernier. Back to the blue line, Weber. Far side now for Ekholm, who plays it around back of the net. Colin Wilson trying to come out with it, and it's fished out of his legs and brought out now by the Maple Leafs, Bozak. For Kessel. Kessel's just going to play it to the red line, but that's not getting the rest of the line changed. Back down into the Leaf zone it goes. Near side, far side now, Fisher keeping it in. Right around back of the net, out of the reach of Bernier. Will come around to the near side, and a bouncing puck that Nystrom couldn't handle. This rolls down the ice, but it is going to be waved off. Line taken to the boards as the puck comes up on the left wing side, and out come the Predators at center. Launched in over the line by Forsberg. Broken up by Cody Franson, and the Leafs get clear of it. 13:07 to go in the second period. The game is scoreless here in the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. Franson stands up his man Nystrom. Puck goes into the slot. Klein trying to reach it and has. Sent along on the boards. Legwand coming out with a wrist shot that is deflected by Bernier, and up into the screen it goes. Molson Canadian Leaf Hockey on Leafs TV. Coming to you from Nashville. It is scoreless.
Leafs have been outshot 8-0 here in this second period, and we just played under 8 minutes. And Bernier is the only reason why the Predators aren't at least up by 1, maybe 2. And again, his controlled game is coming to the forefront here, looking through traffic, able to make sure if there is a rebound, he's in perfect position for a second save. And he's been the difference, obviously, in period number 2. The reason is the Leafs are now starting to get back to giving the puck away again in the neutral zone. That's generated speed on the counterattack for the Nashville Predators, and now they're getting some rush chances against the Toronto Maple Leafs here in period 2.
Cullen facing off with Kadri, and the Leafs control the draw, and it's fed ahead at center ice, but unable to get clear of it. The first time was Lupul, but on recovering the puck, he sends it in. Klein gets it around on the boards, kept alive by Franson, far side, cut off by Bolland to the point, the shot right on, kicked away by Pekka Rinne. Dave Bolland, or Broll getting it around back of the net. That's the first Leaf shot. Here's Kadri with a chance. David Broll goal, and he came within an ace of getting this first NHL goal. Franson a drive, and it's blocked. Leafs with some good pressure here. Playing it along the boards for Kadri. Kadri tries to steer it in, and it's going to be gobbled up there by Ekholm and played out.
Kadri, Brohl, and Lupul by far have been the best lines so far in this game for Toronto.
While Brohl came within an inch of getting his first NHL goal right there on a scramble in front of the net. Played ahead for Bozak, near side Van Riemsdyk. Kessel over the boards. Van Riemsdyk misplayed the puck, and it is turned over to Colin Wilson, who gets it out, only to give it away there to Bozak. Here's Dion Phaneuf. Up ahead for Kessel. Kessel snaps it in, just onside, played into the corner. Van Riemsdyk gets it freed up for Bozak. Bozak back of the goal, forces it into the near corner. Now trying to cycle it back along. Phaneuf can't keep it in, and a 2-on-1 break. A chance for Hornqvist going to the net. He's right in, and he went back at the goal. He took the chance away from himself virtually by stick handling himself right around the net. Here's Kessel coming back the other way. He fends on the shot, centering pass by Gunnarsson didn't work, and out come the Nashville Predators at center. Fisher across the line on the left wing side for Nystrom, and that's taken away in the Leafs counterattack. Up on the left wing side, here's Mason Raymond. Raymond with a shot. That went off his stick and just went wide of the near pole. Josh Leivo can't get it in front of the net. Turning with it is Fisher. He'll play it high and out at center. Nystrom races after it. Ranger got back to take him off the disc. And it's around to the near side for Jake Gardiner, who has trouble getting it by Forsberg. Centering pass, and a sweeping attempt at the puck went astray, but a penalty coming here for cross-checking. Nystrom had the chance, and the cross-check comes as a result. And for the third time in the game, Nashville going to the power play.
Yeah, well, Bolin saves a goal here after the Gardner giveaway by getting back and then a little shove, and that's where he's going to get the penalty for 2 minutes or less. And Phaneuf gets caught standing in, mainly because Bozak handcuffs him with the pass back to the point, creates a 2-on-1, and Holmquist, I don't know what he was doing there, no shot at all on the 2-on-1, but give Bernier credit again. He followed him so well that he just closed the short side right off on him.
Then when he thought he might make a race to the other post, he didn't make that either, so the chance went for naught. But Dave Bolland is in the penalty box for cross-checking. The Leafs are going to be a man short for the third time, and Dion Phaneuf has a equipment issue with one of the plexiglass coverings that they use to protect their skates, so the one on his right foot has been taken off. Brian Papineau and company will be working on that. And the draw one, Phaneuf lays it on the boards, but not out. Now here are the Predators back to the blue line for Weber. His shot, and down is Bernier in traffic. And he makes the save with Hornqvist stationed right on top of him. He was actually in the blue paint too.
Yeah, Bozak 1 for 7 on the draws in the first period. Only won one draw, and again, if you're killing penalties, he's normally the specialist for you in the penalty kill, and now he's not going to take this draw because he just can't seem to win a draw. And again, the end result is another excellent chance. Bernier somehow finds the puck by Holmquist, who's parked right in front of him.
Another face-off loss, this time by McClement. Down the boards, Forsberg holding. Forsberg looking in front. No one back at the blue line. Now it does come back to Weber. He fakes the shot over to Jones. Down into the corner it goes. Forsberg sifting to the front of the net as the puck on the far side knocked back to the blue line. Jones keeping it in, saucers it off to Weber. He has to regain control into the slot for Forsberg. Broken up but not cleared. Leafs never did get a hold of it. Forsberg knocked down there by Van Riemsdyk. Now Franson chases. Puck cleared to the line, still not out. To the near boards, unable to recover it, and sent back in by Weber. He gets it back to the point. He fakes the shot. Over on the far side for Jones. His drive into the chest of Bernier and held. Phaneuf in front of the net trying to clear some room. But with 1:01 to go in this power play, there'll be a change of players and a face-off in the Toronto zone.
Well, Seth Jones keeps this play alive with an unbelievable play. And you talk about his reach here. And it's going to come back to the point. He gets himself in a little bit of trouble here, and somehow he keeps it in and then makes a terrific play to keep it alive, and then he ends up with the good chance to score from the point. And again, Bernier, we've watched him all game, moving into the shot from the point.
Patrick Hornquist doing a good job again of getting in front. Near side for Smith. Back to the blue line. Ellis over and picked off by Bozak. Bozak, who has a short-handed goal, gets in over the line, and as he tried to slide it in for McClement, it didn't work. Both players to the bench. Cullen bringing it out now for Nashville. Up on the right side, got around Van Riemsdyk, cutting to the front of the net, still has it in front for Fisher, and that was deflected just wide. Paul Ranger gets it freed up, and it is cleared to the line and out by Van Riemsdyk. Back come the Nashville Predators. Cullen across the line, had it taken away and shot down the ice by Carl Gunnarsson, and changes coming here for both teams. 12 seconds left in the penalty. No score here in Nashville. Leafs' third road game of the season. They're 2-0 on the road. Wins in Montreal and Philadelphia. Smith gets it down into the corner. Lupul with the penalty over. Looks for the former penalized player Boland, who got it out at center. And now here is Dave Boland looking for a loose puck that doesn't materialize. Franson ahead for Kadri. Turn back, Matt Hendricks back in over the line with a shot. Down is Bernier again. And with Rich Clune coming to the net, Bernier got that stick out to protect himself a little bit, and down went Clune. So this game still looking for its first goal with 8:02 to play in the second period here in Nashville.
Short-handed goals the Leafs have in the last year are from Tyler Bozak, all the same way, where he steals the puck and then comes on the breakaway. Last February against Winnipeg, in the playoffs against Boston, and then in game 1 against Montreal, he stole it at the defensive blue line and went all the way down. And then tonight, he doesn't get the goal, but a very similar play where he strips the puck from the defenseman right at the blue line and skates all the way down. This time the 2-on-1 didn't click.
So the draw to the left of Bernier as Gardner bounces it down into the zone. The referee was showing that it had been touched, and the referee, I think, was saying, hey, it was touched. The linesman didn't see his signal.
Center ice.
Now yeah. Randy Carlyle being taught. Watch the referee right there.
Yeah, there it is. This will go at center ice, the face-off, I would think, and they are not going to do it, and now Carlyle is blowing a gasket, and I don't blame him. You can't believe it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Now Mason Raymond gets the puck out at center, and it's launched in by Josh Levo. He goes into the forecheck. Puck at the side of the goal, poked out. Bartley gets it up on the wing, and it's played to center ice. Anyway, moot point so far, with the referee not being able to overrule the defenseman or the linesman. Levo doesn't get the puck out. Gardner on the far boards. Plays it back for Paul Ranger. Whitby native gets it ahead for Levo. And Levo in his first NHL game will launch it down wide of the net. Boland goes into the corner after it. Grabbed off by Gaustad. He was bodied, but the puck comes free. At Hendricks to center, and onto the left wing side it goes to Wilson. Wilson into the corner, pulls the brakes on, back to the point to Jones. Jones got caught. The lead pass though for Kadri went off his stick. Wilson up ahead for Fisher. Fisher on the right side. Hornquist sends it wide of the goal. Wilson with the rebound, trying to send it at the net. It was blocked. Fisher around back of the goal. Al Gunnarsson couldn't get to it. Hornquist back behind the net for Wilson. Down he goes. Phaneuf comes out with the disc and gets it up on the left wing side. Pass onto the wing for Kadri. Kadri with a little stutter step. Oh, what a chance that was. Lupul deflecting it just wide. Another shot goes over top of the goal from Brohl. Best scoring chance by the Leafs for sure.
And by that line again. David Brohl's been terrific. Kadri much better in this game tonight so far.
The second period of tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from Nashville is brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee, and by Just Energy, energy made easy.
real terrific play here by Nazem Kadri here, keeping his play alive and onside as he has puck possession. Throws it across, and Lupul just gets enough of the puck, but it goes up and over top of the net as he's driving hard.
Centered it for the score! Right off the face-off, Phil Kessel slams it home. It's 1-0 Toronto. The Leafs finally get possession off a face-off, and it ends up in the back of the Predators' net.
And he goes forward with it, and then when he does that, bad coverage as everybody chases the puck to the corner. Terrific play by Van Riemsdyk here to jump by his man, gain possession, and just throw it out blind, tape to tape to Phil Kessel, who just sneaks into the slot behind the traffic. Good little face-off play by the Maple Leafs, gets them on the board as they've been outplayed for the most part. Bernier's kept them in. Now suddenly they're up by one here with 6:04 to go in period number 2.
Second of the year for Phil Kessel, and the Maple Leafs open the scoring. Played by Morgan Rielly to center ice. Rolled back down into the Toronto zone, and Franson will go back to retrieve it. Phil Kessel from Van Riemsdyk and Bozak will be the scoring play. Cross the line for Kessel, bouncing puck. Rielly knocks it in. Kadri can't get a shot. Kessel looking in front of the net, and it was intended for Brohl, but it didn't reach him. Now back goes Gardner after a loose puck. He gets slashed off it, and a shot knocked away by Bernier and then batted into the corner. Kadri can't fish it free. The puck comes back to him, and he'll get it off to Kessel, who's in need of a change. Kadri will buy that for him by chipping it into the zone. David Brohl goes into the corner after it. He gets charged in there with Klein. The puck comes back along the boards. Leafs maintain it. Lupul into the slot with a chance on the right wing side. A shot. That's stopped by Rinne. It comes to the side of the goal, and he's going to hold on. Great chance for Paul Ranger coming in off the blue line, but it's 1-0 Toronto.
David Legwand actually wins this draw cleanly and puts it back to the corner. Now Forsberg, the winger, is beside Kessel, and he just lets him go as Forsberg is thinking that they have possession, so he's giving them an out. So you'll see Forsberg take off here. Whoops, too late. And then a terrific little pass by James Van Riemsdyk from behind the net to put it in front for the goal.
So Bozak will not get an assist on the goal. But some heads-up play by Van Riemsdyk, who jumped into the corner. And Phil Kessel gets his second, but what can you say about the play of Jonathan Bernier so far? 22 Predator shots and a 1-0 Toronto lead.
We've said it, we'll say it again. His positioning and his rebound control, again, tonight, has been spectacular.
Dion Phaneuf with 14 minutes and 6 seconds of ice time thus far to lead the Leafs in that department. In the center ice area, batted by Lupul in deep. We'll get a change of players going. And up on the left wing side comes Rich Clune. He gets it down into the Toronto end. Ranger pushing it up the wall, but too far for the Leaf winger. It's played around on the far side as Brohl couldn't get to it. Ekholm keeping it in. Now Orr after the puck in the far corner. Chopped it along the boards. McClement trying to help out. There's 3 Leafs piled in along the boards there as David Brohl remains the lone man out into the slot, and a long, easy save for Bernier off the stick of Bartley, and there'll be a face-off in the Toronto zone. So the face-off in the Toronto zone will come to the left, Bernier.
And then they want to change in a hurry the Kadri line, so they will get that puck. They'll work it hard and make sure it's deep so they can get the change they're looking for.
4:11 to play, second period. And the Leafs on a goal from Phil Kessel, his second. Have a 1-0 lead. Taking a while for Kadri and Fisher to get this face-off going. And it's finally won by the Leaf centerman. Dion Phaneuf steps out with a pass on the left wing for Carl Gunnarsson, who gets it up on the wall, but unable to play it in was Kadri. Now Gunnarsson tries the other side. Kessel across the line with Lupul and Kadri on this line. Back in along the boards for Kadri. Kadri cycles the puck along for Lupul. Then down went Kessel in a collision with Weber. And it's gone up into the screen, and Kessel hunched over a little bit as he hit.
Seems up a bit, all right, yeah.
Not going to the bench yet. Now he will.
Weber is a train, and he just got run over there, and it looks like he hit his arm on the play. No penalty, and Kessel still on the ice, which is the good news for the Maple Leafs.
He's joined by his line mates, Bozak and Van Riemsdyk. Kessel skates off whatever was ailing him. Draw to the right of Pecorine. 1-0 Toronto. 3:45 to go in the period. And the draw won by the Predators and fed ahead. Legwand, a nice pass to find Eric Nystrom. Nystrom across the line, going wide on the defense, pulls up. Nystrom holds, still with the puck, down into the corner for Legwand. The veteran pass in front of the net, and Riemsdyk tipped it away. Kept in there by Nystrom again. Broken up by the Maple Leafs, and Franson skates back into his own zone, reverses the disc. Morgan Rielly with a long lead pass just outside the blue line. And I mean, just outside the blue line. He was looking for the home run, and he almost had that blow up in his face.
Yeah, young play sometimes, and that's just a natural progression for a young player. And Nystrom picks it off, and a bit of a break as it's offside.
Now Dave Farish.
They're not letting them change, and that is what all the confusion is about at the Leaf bench. Farish not very happy about it.
So Franson and Rielly stay on the ice. Bartley on the far side, got it to the blue line, batted out of the air and fed back in, and Morgan Rielly being chased hard by Matt Cullen. Puck goes into the corner, and goes Franson to help out the younger defenseman, who comes away with the puck. Now Morgan Rielly with a pass that comes over on the near side. Carried to center by Boland. Dave Boland in on the right wing. Boland with a shot that's high and wide, and it's going to carry him off the dasher board and go up into the screen. So a face-off will come in the circle to the left of Pecorine.
Well, the clock is ticking, and you wonder what the Leafs are going to do with young Morgan Rielly. At the moment, they got to play him because they really don't have anybody else, and the kid's been terrific. I thought his best game as a Leaf was at home against the Avalanche a couple of nights ago. Tonight he's been okay. Not spectacular, but okay so far in this game.
Off the boards. Clement played it in, but it's offside. And it will be brought into the neutral zone. The test tonight, of course, is that Randy Carlyle can't pick and choose where he puts them on. So this is as big a test as he's going to get here tonight because of how Barry Trotz decides to match up.
And the other thing, this is his first road game.
That's
as well.
The point.
A little bit different.
Yep.
I mean, but in terms of
just being
period,
being in
a different building, the National Hockey League, with a little more pressure on him than he's probably seen the first couple of games that he played.
Played into the corner, McClement.
Pressure being from the opposition, not pressure from the fans in the environment.
Round into the far corner, Ryan Ellis taken out of the play by Colton Orr, and the puck comes out at center ice. Rielly with a quick stick knocks it away, and in goes Carter Ashton after it. He's got a hold of his man as he goes into the corner. He's got a pretty good bear hug on him as McClement works into the corner. He's knocked down by Cullen. Now puck to the blue line, kept in by Carter Ashton. It'll go around back of the net. Wholesale changes for the Maple Leafs. Now 2 minutes, 3 seconds to go in the second period. Right down into the Leaf zone. No icing here. Rielly in along the boards, grabbed off there by Wilson. Wilson taken down by Cody Franson, the former Predator, and the Leafs are able to saucer it out, and carrying to center is David Brohl. Back in over the line, trying to find Lupul, but it didn't work. Out at center, Brohl intercepts that. Nice little saucer pass, but there Lupul couldn't get around the defenseman. Hornqvist unable to get by Gardner. Brought in over the line, and a pass onto the right wing side. Here's Klein trying to center, and it was stopped by Bernier on the short side. A lead pass gets to David Brohl, and he's going to backhand it in, realizing a change is required with 1:18 to play. Simplify your game. The first NHL game, don't do something you don't really need to do. David Brohl's had a pretty good first two periods.
Very good.
Back down into the Toronto zone. Chased by Nystrom. Shields the puck, gets it up on the wing. The feed for Kessel was behind him. But here is Carl Gunnarsson lifting it down into the zone and going in there after it. Kessel filling in for him back on the blue line, but the Predators break it out. Now Kessel's a defenseman against Big Seth Jones. Jones with a pass in, and it was deflected wide. Kessel did a pretty good job of getting in the way there. Back into the corner it goes for Nystrom. Around back of the net, down goes Gunnarsson. Now the Predators trying to cycle the puck. Forsberg unable to come out. Jump ball. Hack, whack, and slash. Back of the net, down goes the Nashville player. And Carl Gunnarsson comes away with it with a lead pass for Kessel. Kessel trying to get around Jones. It does! He hit the post! He hit the post. Now a wrap around the tip. Scores! Van Riemsdyk, after Kessel hit the post, carried on. And he beat Pekka Rinne to the far pole.
Well, he catches Nashville tired, and it all starts at the other end. As the Leafs are in a bit of trouble, and Dion Phaneuf does a terrific defensive play behind the net here. Pushes his man down, good stick, right there, and then away they go, the Leafs off to the races with good speed and a good first pass out of the zone. Away goes Kessel. This almost beats Pekka Rinne to begin with, hits the post, but what a play here from Van Riemsdyk. He just hunts the puck down, strips it from the goaltender, and the wraparound gives the Leafs a 2-0 lead.
Now David Brohl dropping the gloves here with Matt Hendricks. Helmet off of Brohl, but he's throwing punches. Hendricks there, Brohl down to a knee, back up again. Oh, boom! Wow, what a left hook that was. And down heavily went Matt Hendricks. So the Brohldozer, as he's known. Shows you that he can work when the clock's not running.
And the two of them just talking as soon as the puck goes down. And away they went. And Brohl has done a real good job in terms of doing what he has to do to be noticed here tonight. His play's been strong, and here's another look at that wraparound goal as Pekka Rinne could not find the handle on the initial shot coming off the backboards from Phil Kessel.
So with just a couple of seconds left in the period, the Leafs are going to carry a 2-0 lead into the dressing room as goals from Kessel and Van Riemsdyk. Kessel's second of the season, and for JVR, it's his third of the campaign. Kessel has a goal and an assist. The Leafs' big line came to life midway through the period.
It's kind of been the MO of the season so far, getting great goaltending and then being very
opportunistic.
Thank you, Joe.
That's the one. Yeah.
When the time comes.
Funny you could sing that last night.
They can score. They can really score.
Yes,
when they get a couple chances, that's all they need. And I can't say that word.
2-0 Leafs after 2. From James Van Riemsdyk, and then Van Riemsdyk from Kessel and Gunnarsson. And the Maple Leafs with a 2-0 lead, but see the shot, 17-9, favoring the Predators in the second period.
Now this franchise is a bit of a tipping point as they're always around the playoffs, but they really don't seem to advance. And they've only won a series twice, 2011 and 2012.
I'll tell you, they came within an eyelash of beating Chicago in 2010. History might have been a little different had they been able to do so.
David Poile done an excellent job here, and the man to your left, Paul Fenton, he works his tail off for this franchise, and I think he has got to be a general manager at some point in the National Hockey League, because he is a very good hockey man who basically does a lot of the heavy work here and heavy lifting in Nashville. And although they haven't had a great deal amount of success in the playoffs, they've been a very steady program for a number of years.
Former Maple Leaf, centering pass, that went just wide. And here's Franson trying to steer it ahead for Dave Bolland, who gets it now. Nice move to get some skating room and then played it off the skate of Mason Raymond. Riley tries to play it ahead, and he has. In across the line, Josh Leivo shooting, and he fired it wide of the net. Into the corner now, Leivo back of the goal. Leivo trying to find some room, muscles it back to the blue line. Dion Phaneuf can't shoot it, gets an angle to get it in to the area of the side of the net. Bolin trying to find Raymond, and down the boards, Carl Gunnarsson to play it back of the goal. Nashville get it out at center. Spaulding sends it down into the Toronto end. Gunnarsson back to retrieve it. Fed it around on the boards, but cut off because late getting onto the ice was Kessel there. Now into the corner is Wilson. Now Kessel stealing, and he'll play it off the wall to center ice. Almost intercepted there as Jones tried to go D to D and was successful, but Van Riemsdyk came within about a half a stick of sending that the other way on a breakaway.
We haven't talked a lot about Dion Phaneuf, but we should be, because his game has been quiet. And when his game is quiet, he's effective. Doesn't try to do too much, doesn't rush the puck all the time when he shouldn't. And he's made some strong defensive plays again. And I can say this all year, that he has been, in my opinion, a very good defenseman for the Maple Leafs and a leader on the blue line.
15 minutes, 47 seconds of ice time in the first two periods. Weber sends it back. Cut off there. Van Riemsdyk couldn't get a loose puck. Back checking Kessel, and it is denied from getting over the blue line the first time, and then Hornqvist sends it in over the line the second. Fisher and Gunnarsson against the boards. Fisher working hard into the far corner. Had it blocked there by Kessel. Carl Gunnarsson unable to get it freed up with his skate. Fisher around back of the net, coming out in front, and that was denied by Bernier, who got a stick on it. Predators have to go back to center ice to regroup. Fisher dropping it off for Seth Jones. Big defenseman from Arlington, Texas. Former Portland Winterhawk sends it in off a skate, grabbed off by Legwand. He is knocked down. Carrying the puck in, though, is Eric Nystrom. And along the board, centered in front. Oh, and Bernier, what a save that is. That may be his best of the game right there. He read that perfectly.
If you can get there ahead of the pass, you're in business as a goaltender. And that's just reading the play and recognizing. Now, he'll peek right now. He knows he's there. There's the peek. And as soon as he takes the peek, he is ahead of the puck. And then he makes a very difficult save. He'll peek right. Here he goes. Looks, peeks, right push, butterfly, perfect position. Another amazing save.
Eric Nystrom denied there. Fanning on a shot in front, and out comes Jay McClement to center ice. He'll launch it in on the right wing, tries to get around Klein to get it into the corner. Around back of the net as McClement tries to dig it free. And it is flipped high to center ice, knocked out of the air there by Ranger, and long shoot in is steered wide by Bernier. Here's Lupul. Ahead for McClement, who's on this line as Brohl is in the penalty box. A long shot, juggled, and then pounced upon by Pecorine as McClement had arrived on the scene. And a face-off coming in the circle to the left of the Nashville goaltender.
Yeah, McClement up with this line because, of course, Brohl in the box for that late period fight. And Pecorine, who has been just okay tonight, hasn't been tested all that much, has had a terrific career here in Nashville. Just 16 shots by the Maple Leafs in this game. 29 for Nashville.
Face-off won by Nashville. And they have dominated the face-off circle, although the Leafs got better in the second period, up from 26% to 34%. But one of the biggest plays is a face-off lost in the Nashville zone. And here's the line that managed to convert that as Kessel scored the opening goal of the game in a 2-0 lead. And the Nashville Predators send out the checking line of Mike Fisher out against Bozak and company.
And Jones and Weber have been out against them. They are both -2 on the evening and have not had one of their better events so far in this game.
Linesman blocking that. The pass comes ahead. Kessel couldn't step around Shea Weber, who goes into the corner after it. And now Weber looks up ice with a bank pass that is too far for Fisher. Sent back towards Van Riemsdyk. And now the Leafs regroup it. Bozak in the center ice area. Off the boards looking for Kessel. That didn't work. They'll try the other side. This is going to be down into the corner, and Pekka Rinne gives the puck away back of the net. Bozak trying to make a play now. Bozak forced to the boards by Jones, and it comes up on the wing, and Morgan Rielly pinches, but it is now Hornqvist sending it down into the Toronto zone. Teams are changing on the go, and behind the net is Rielly to play it up on the wall, but not out. Klein keeps it in. Here are the Predators now cycling the puck in the corner. It comes back to the point. Klein with a shot in traffic that was blocked by Morgan Rielly, and it's fed off the boards for the youngster, and here he comes to center, dumping it in deep and heading to the bench. Josh Leivo up into the forecheck as well. Left wing feed, and the Predators bring it to center and across the line with a sharp angle shot, and standing up to take that in the chest rather easily is Bernier with a face-off in the Toronto zone.
The third period of tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from Nashville is brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee.
Face-off coming to the right of Jonathan Bernier. Legwand leaning in against McClement. The draw won by the Predators into the corner. It's centered in front. Good play made there by Kadri to jump in there and make sure his stick got in the way of the Eric Nystrom shot. And it ends up into the screen. If you start chasing the puck right off the bat, you've got to have good defensive posture, and the Leafs did a pretty good job there.
Yeah, he comes down from the point, filters into the slot, which he needs to do, and makes a good defensive play.
Another face-off win by Nashville around back of the net. Out of town, the Colorado Avalanche seem to be for real. A 2-0 win in Boston tonight. Here's Jake Gardiner. Oh, and just a toe save by Rinne. Looked like he was off the angle there a bit, but got that left leg up. Lupul slides it into the corner for Kadri. Around back of the net is McClement as well. Puck comes back to the blue line. Fed in by Ranger. It doesn't get in deep. And it is fed out into the center ice area for Legwand. And now here's Forsberg sending it down into the Toronto zone. Jake Gardiner back to the goal. Paul Ranger, the quick up, and it is just deflected by Lupul into Nashville territory. And Riemsdyk was hoping for a giveaway there from Pekka Rinne, but it didn't materialize. Wilson is able to bat it out at center for the Predators. And here's Phaneuf turning with the puck in his own zone. Onto the right wing side and brought on now by Kessel. Kessel with a snapshot. Rinne is down, and he's got that underneath his arm, but pinned to his body. Another face-off in the Nashville zone. 18 shots for the Leafs, 30 for the Nashville Predators.
Gunnarsson's going to run down here, but he's got good support behind him as Kessel fills in along with Phaneuf. When you're up by a couple, you got to make sure if you're going to run down those boards, you have support. And Gunnarsson did there.
Support, you got to make sure it's at least a tie. A draw in the circle of the left of Rinne. McClement out with Ashton and Orr here on this line. And Cody Franson and Ashton got their signals crossed about moving to keep that puck in, and it's down in the Toronto end. Around back of the net it goes. Here the Predators cycling the puck back behind the goal, cut off by Jay McClement. McClement works back of the net, was upended, but is able to get the puck to Cody Franson, and Franson will bank the puck out into the center ice area. Ellis to the far side, right back into the Toronto zone it goes. Franson throws it with his glove into the corner. McClement for Orr. Orr ran into his man, but the puck maintained. Here's the centering pass off the side of the net. Back to the blue line it comes. Ellis with a shot blocked in front. Rebound. Another shot blocked in front. And Carter Ashton will get it out into the neutral zone, with the Leafs unable to change. Sent back in over the line. Now they'll get 2/3 of the forward line done as the pass comes ahead for Orr, and he'll get it the rest of the way down into Nashville territory. 13-17 to play third period. Leafs lead by a 2-0 count. Dave Bolland after the puck. Can't come up with it, and out at center ice come the Predators. Wheeling in over the line is Smith. His pass went off the stick of Bernier into the corner. Bolin chasing it. Smith curling out with it. Into the slot now for Seth Jones. Big save. There's a rebound. Back it goes now for Smith. Another chance, and that's blocked in front. Jones had a glorious chance there. And another big save from Bernier. Bolin takes his man down and sits on him. And this brought Raymond to center ice. Raymond just launching it in. The Leafs will change, but what a save that was by Bernier.
That patience that he shows. He just sits and waits, and he just outweighted Jones on the play.
Here's Kessel getting it ahead. Bozak with speed and can't get around Klein. Bozak holding the puck, knocked down, and then can't play it in, and that allows a 2-on-1 break. Rangers, the lone defenseman, back, looking in front, and getting back was Morgan Riley. Up ahead, it's a 3-on-1. Van Riemsdyk in front, shot stopped by Rinne. Bozak with the finishing try. Here's Kessel, back to Morgan Riley, and he shot wide. Great play by Riley coming back after he got trapped. Turnover again, another 2-on-1. This is Kessel, Van Riemsdyk, huge save, 2 saves by Rinne. The Leafs could have put it away.
That's just great goaltending at both ends tonight. That's been the story. Rinne now putting on a show here on another giveaway as Nashville starts giving the puck in the neutral zone, trying to open things up a little bit, down by 2.
Here's McClement. Gets it down into the zone. Kadri couldn't get to it, but coming out in front. McClement down, still loose. Rinne into a snow angel mode, but couldn't find the puck, but the Nashville Predators were able to get it out. And Pekka Rinne is keeping his team in the game here, mid-stages of period number 3. Leafs getting some chances. Lupo launches it high into the zone. Right over on the far side, Dave Bolin knocks it down. And he's going to shoot it back deep into the zone. Pekka Rinne couldn't reach it to keep it in the trapezoidal area, and the Predators are back behind the net. Ellis gets it up on the wing. Cullen trying to break it center. Long shot from well out, and Bernier's not going to have any trouble with those the way he's playing in this game. We are almost halfway through the third, and the Leafs maintain a 2-0 lead.
He can. You can skate yourself into trouble, but then you can skate yourself out of trouble. So he skates himself into trouble here. A bad read by Riley. But because he's such a great skater, watch him come back. A 2-on-1. He breaks up the play, and then he'll just take off the other way. And then seconds after this, on the very same shift, in the neutral zone, hooks it in, reads it beautifully, and creates an excellent chance to score. Almost gave the Leafs a 3-0 lead if it wasn't for Pekka Rinne. Pretty impressive shift by the youngster. Even though he made a bit of a young mistake, he made up for it beautifully, didn't he?
Sure did. Has the puck around back of the goal, got it up on the wing, fed back by Mason Raymond, and now it is Cody Franson finding Bolin, who tips it ahead for McClement. McClement showing good strength there to hang on to that puck as his stick was attempted to be lifted, and it is now brought back now by Nashville. Brought in by Ryan Ellis. Ellis still with it with a shot. And a blocking arm save by Bernier. Round back of the net for Morgan Riley. Off the glass. Mason Raymond trying to help him out, but can't. Here's Weber in deep. Taken off the puck by Riley. Fed on the wing by Kessel, and a tip pass brings Bozak. Bozak and Mason Raymond, who drops the puck for him. Raymond on his backhand, couldn't shoot it. Allen plays it back to the blue line. Dion Phaneuf patiently waiting for it, peppers it back behind the goal. Rinne will leave it there for Shea Weber. Up ahead, tipped by Cullen and brought on by the Predators and played to the Leaf blue line. Gunnarsson turns for the Leafs. Got it ahead off a stick, but another turnover. Fisher trying to bring it back. Tied up by Gunnarsson and forced to the wall. In goes Dion Phaneuf to tie up his man Wilson. And back behind the goal is Tyler Bozak. Off the boards for Kessel. Ahead for Van Riemsdyk. He couldn't get it in deep. And Weber will try it again. And across the line for Wilson. He's around the defense. He's in a goal! And it's tipped wide of the net. Great play by Dion Phaneuf there in front of the net. 9 minutes to play, third period. Bounce to the line, but not out. Mike Fisher keeping it in, pushing it down the wall. Grabbed off by the Predators, back in for Fisher, into the point, the shot, pad save, and just wide of the net, unable to handle a rebound was Colin Wilson. First real rebound, I think, that Bernier has given up. And the second chance was there, but the Predators couldn't take advantage of it. Back into Nashville territory. Jones leaves it for Weber. Seth Jones up to the line. That bounces into the zone. Whipped around the wall by Ranger, and it'll come out at center ice. Line regrouping the puck. Right back down into Toronto territory. Ranger takes it into the corner. Saucered it over a stick to get it to the line and out. It's quickly played back in. It's a delayed offside that is going to be whistled down. The Leafs nursing a 2-0 lead with 8 minutes to go in the third here on Leafs TV, brought to you by Molson Canadian. Anything for Hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
And tonight, there is the last save moments ago, midway through the period, as Seth Jones came right down on Bernier. And Bernier's just been unbelievable tonight. His control has been spectacular. He's been watching pucks in good position for rebounds, battled through that. And obviously the difference in this game is the Predators have outchanced the Leafs considerably.
And have had 14 more shots on goal than Toronto, 34-20 at this point. Rene, though, in this midway through this period, had about 3 or 4 real good saves, or this game might have been in the books. Played ahead by Gardner, off McClement, down into the zone. Rene left it there as it bounces towards the blue line, wrapped by Gardner back in. He's trying to keep it in, but Lupul has it forced out. Brought back now the other way by McClement. McClement works to the boards. He'll try and just get it back to the point, and does. Paul Ranger sends it well wide of the goal, but a bank pass that was unable to be maintained by Dave Bolin. Back out at center ice it goes. Here's Legwand, swept off his stick. Ranger turns with teams changing, gets the puck ahead, and now here's Josh Leivo with a long shoot-in, gloved, and then smothered by a Nashville netminder, and there'll be a face-off in the Predator zone.
Tonight's Leafs TV broadcast from Nashville is brought to you by Molson Canadian, diehard fan and proud partner of the Leafs.
Another one of those games that if the Leafs get through the next 6 minutes and 59 seconds, as Carlisle looks at the clock, he'll say, well, we won, but, and he said that a lot this year, but the team has the ability to score, and they've done a pretty good job. They did in period number 1 of shutting down the Predators. Period number 2 was all about Bernier, and this has been a fairly even period here in period 3.
Fisher can't get it around Cody Franson, who ran into the corner of the rink. Fisher running Franson, and he hit that corner curved glass face first. Now, the good thing about this is that that glass is now there, because that was that turnbuckle. The turnbuckle that would have been there would have been far more damaging, but is this going to be a penalty? But
Carlisle's asking for 5, and he's badly cut. Yeah, and that's a push from behind by Fisher, and then, oh boy, he hit the stanchion, I believe, and that's why Franson is cut so wide open the way he is. And right on the numbers, and Fisher cannot push there. It's a dangerous play, and he's gone for the night.
If that round piece of angled glass wasn't there, this could be a lot worse. But as it is, Cody Franson has been cut badly, and a boarding penalty here to Fisher. It's a major penalty. But the Leafs have lost Cody Franson more than likely for the remainder of this game. But
and again, though, the angled glass is great, but it's the stanchion that cuts Franson, and oh man, it's hard to look at.
Well, remember Pacioretty's hit with Chara and how that was just that stanchion. So these things, what you're seeing there, the curved glass, is an effort to get away from really a very sharp edge. So we're going to go to a break here. A major penalty to Mike Fisher. Cody Franson taken to the dressing room, and the Leafs leading 2-0. The delivery of the game is presented by Purolator. Excitement delivered.
And the 2 goals tonight off the face-off. Kessel gets let go in the slot to make it 1-0, and then Kessel again off the rush, and a terrific play by Van Riemsdyk on the wraparound to give the Leafs a 2-0 lead at that point of the game in the second.
Paul Hendrick is down at ice level. I'm not sure whether, Henny, you'll be able to get any kind of a word on Cody Franson, but he's been taken off. There's going to be stitches for sure. There was a lot of blood, and Paul Hendrick is hopefully going to be able to get us a bit of a word either before this game is over or maybe in our post-game show on the condition of Cody Franson. Now the officials are coming back over to the penalty box. The Leafs go back to their bench area. Philip Forsberg is serving the penalty. It's a 5-minute major to Fisher with 6 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the period. I think what they're trying to decide is, well, the faceoff has to be down into the...
Let's get the time up, Joe, I believe.
Maybe that's what it was. Yep. Okay, so a 5-minute major penalty. The Leafs with the power play and a chance to put this game out of reach. Enough to the middle of the ice, dishes it back. Kessel with a shot that's blocked. Rebound, shot right on. And that was stopped by Rinne with Van Riemsdyk on the doorstep.
Good face-off win creates the chance to score, and Phil Kessel's had a little more bounce to his stride in the second half of this game since he scored.
Draw won by Toronto, but unable to keep it in was Morgan Rielly. Enough. Up ahead for Kessel. Bank pass in over the line, rattled in by Van Riemsdyk to the blue line to Phaneuf. He has it blocked, and Morgan Rielly has to skate after it and come away with it. Rielly back in his own zone. His speed for Kessel didn't work. Bozak will retreat to organize the power play with Dion Phaneuf. Phaneuf skates around back of his goal. Now tries to work it out and does. Bozak carries in over the line to Van Riemsdyk. Van Riemsdyk, bank pass back to the blue line to Morgan Rielly. Rielly to Kessel, they exchange it. Far side for Phaneuf. Phaneuf works on the backhand for Van Riemsdyk. Swept around to the near half boards for Kessel. Rielly again. Looks, comes down the boards, drops for Kessel. Kessel down into the corner for Rielly. Rielly back into the slot, a shot, and into the chest of Rinne. It's held. Van Riemsdyk again trying to provide the screen.
Jonas Brodin last year for the Minnesota Wild, the youngster should have won the Rookie of the Year for fun. He was playing 25 minutes a game as a kid, and they kept him earlier, and there was that big decision that Minnesota had to make. You watch this youngster play as the Leafs get another good chance, and you almost think that Morgan Rielly, the way he's playing, you almost have to keep him. And I know I'm not one to want to rush young players. In fact, I was one that would think, let him play junior. He missed a year of junior. Let him go back. But the more I watch this kid, he's making it real tough on the Maple Leafs and making a case to stay in the National Hockey League.
Long pass up on the wing for Mason Raymond, goes for icing, and it'll be brought back. The thing that you're seeing too, Greg, is each game getting better, making better decisions. When he is made a mistake, he's made up for it with his skating speed, what we saw. But here's what he's done as a junior with Moose Jaw, and he's been a marvelous
if he does go back, he's going back to a good coach and a good program, which is always part of the decision for management when you make those kind of decisions.
Mike Stuthers, former Leaf, is the head coach.
Excellent coach.
Here's Paul Ranger breaking up a play and carrying in over the line. Tried to drop it back for Kadri, but it's pushed out at center ice, and Jake Gardner turns. Gardner in across the line for Kadri in the slot with a shot that's blocked. There's a rebound grabbed off by the Predators, who've got to start thinking about shorthanded attempts. Lost one for Matt Cullen that's too far. Gardner just plays it along the boards, and Ranger gets it ahead. Kadri up on the right wing side. Down the boards, Kessel, he stops, protecting the puck, now works to the middle with a pass over on the near side for Morgan Rielly. Rielly into the corner. Around on the boards, and Phaneuf's nowhere near there, and he's not going to be able to keep it in. 2:43 to go in the 5-minute major. 4:22 left to play in period number 3 as a bouncing puck at Rinne dancing a little bit at the side of the net. Launched out and back out! No. We've seen some go in off sideboards. That one took a wicked bounce.
Well, the ice in here, it's been a real humid day in Nashville. Late in the game is when you got to really be careful as a goaltender, because the puck will start bouncing all over the place. And everybody says, oh, they're easy. They're not that easy, as that thing just takes off, and Bernier calmly just puts his glove up.
It was going wide, thank goodness.
Yeah,
but he was following it.
We watched another goal earlier in the week that was going wide. That ended up in the net on Jonathan Quick.
Did you ever have one go that far off the boards and in? Like, I can't ever remember that. That was Jonathan
One of
Quick.
these days, I'll tell you about a dandy I let in, but
All right.
not tonight. With
Not tonight.
Not tonight with 4 minutes
You know,
to
we
go.
can make time. Maybe there'll be a broken glass or something. Lead pass for Van Riemsdyk. We break into our regular schedule programming for an embarrassing moment from Mr. Greg Miller.
I'll have to get Mark to get it one time. It's that bad.
Morgan Riley brings it back in over the line. Kessel takes his pass. Snapped in front of the net. Scores! Bozak scores. So the big line each has one, but this is almost as much good fortune as good management. This goes in off a Nashville player before it reached its intended receiver.
And Riley again leading the rush. And Seth Jones, who's had a real tough night, and that's going to happen with this youngster like all young defensemen. And it goes off his big toe and into the net. Good play by Kessel. What a pass. Cross through the box, and then centering attempt doesn't get there as Bozak ends up banking it off the skate of Seth Jones and into Pekka Rinne, who was really overplaying that puck, going from one side of the net to the other.
So the line has a goal each. Bozak has his first power play goal of the season to go with a shorthanded tally earlier on. Offside at the blue line as Mason Raymond brought it in. Still a minute 46 to go in the 5-minute major. So the Maple Leafs have scored here as Morgan Riley led the offensive rush.
Again, a great snap pass by Kessel. He really passes the puck hard when he does. And right into the net, off the toe of Seth Jones.
Here's Gardner turning. Ranger hits it up on the wing for Mason Raymond. Into the slot, back to Raymond. Raymond to the point. Ranger looks for Gardner. Gardner into the middle of the ice, onto the far side. Leafs trying to go 3-0 on the road to start this season. Kadri back to the blue line, just kept in by Gardner, and the wrist shot scores! Lupul in front of the net redirects this into the net. 4-0 Toronto, and still a minute 19 in the 5-minute major. Joffrey Lupul is going to get credit for this, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, and a little play here by Kadri, who's had a good night as well. And I got to tell you, Gardner needed this. He needed something good to happen, and he gets on the board in a beautiful deflection by Joffrey Lupul in front of the net, who's left wide open. Nobody's touching him at all. And he redirects it past Pekka Rinne to seal a deal for the Toronto Maple Leafs here as they're up 4-0.
Pass from Ashton is intercepted, but played to center ice by Toronto. Brought in by Jay McClement. McClement works into the corner. Puts the brakes on, shovels it back along the boards. It comes back to Ranger at the point. Far side, Gardner back to Ranger, tipped along the wall to the near side. Ashton tries to barge in there, bodied by Ryan Ellis. Ashton to McClement.
Look at who Carlisle has on the power play here. Not to run the score up on Nashville and give the Pluggers a chance here.
Now McClement and Orr along with Carter Ashton.
How many power play opportunities Orr's had in his career?
Well, I can pretty much assure you that this is the first this year that he's had some time with. Out at center ice it goes to Raymond. Raymond across the line. looks in front. Josh Levo was there, but he didn't get him the puck. It comes back to the blue line for Riley. Riley with a stutter step in and a shot. That comes free, and Rinne found it and holds for a face-off. 2 power play goals here, 4-0 Leafs. Joffrey Lupul with his 3rd goal of the season has put this one away, and with 1:25 to go, the 5-minute major is over and is brought to center ice, and there's one bit of business yet to do. Down into the Nashville zone it goes. Around on the boards and launched high into the center ice area. Bouncing puck dished off. Wilson with a chance. That's steered wide of the net by Bernier. Now here's the centering effort again. Another shot. Bernier is down, and he has covered that up and holds for a face-off.
Joffrey Lupul's had what I call a bit of a quiet start to the season. Of course, he missed a bit of camp with that back situation, and another player who has been coming on a little bit of late, and if he starts putting the puck in the net as well, that'll create some nice depth for the Maple Leafs, which is needed. And he was part of, I thought, one of the best lines for the Maple Leafs throughout the evening.
Along the boards for Carter Ashton. To Gardner. Gardner gets to the red line. In it goes. Ashton and McClement into the forecheck.
And I should clarify that in the first half of the game, not the second. Obviously, the Kessel line took over the second half of the game. The first half, they were great.
Here's Carl Gunnarsson stealing, and he's got a breakaway. He's in on goal! And it was knocked off his stick at the last second by Craig Smith, but it's going to be a penalty shot. Carl Gunnarsson's going to get a penalty shot.
He may not be able to take it as he goes into the boards, and the injury woes continue for the blue line of the Maple Leafs. He seems to be okay, but he went in heavily. He takes a big slash as well on the way in from Smith. And Craig Smith will give him a shot here, and then watch how he goes into the boards. Slash in the arm, and then afterwards hard into the boards. And Gunnarsson seems to be all right. I wonder if he's ever taken a penalty shot before.
Well, he hasn't, not even in the preseason when they had the 15. Here's Gunnarsson now in over the line. And I think we may have seen why he hasn't.
He tried the old one-handed come back against the flow trick.
He's probably going to get an earful at the bench.
The boys aren't smiling too much. I'm surprised.
Here's another look at it. And he tried to pull it back and just kind of...
He actually had him, but he just couldn't. He was a little bit too tight to the goaltender. There's the smile we're looking for there now. Now they're chirping.
23 seconds left. A lead pass trying to spring. A shot goes wide of the net from Hornqvist. Another chance in front of the net, knocked wide by Gardner. Gardner in the corner, can't get it up along the boards. A dozen seconds left in the game. The Toronto Maple Leafs are going to go 3-0 on the road and pick up their 4th win in 5 tries, and a shutout for Jonathan Bernier, his first in a Maple Leaf uniform and his 7th in his National Hockey League career. He is now 8-1 against the Nashville Predators. In the early going, it was his game and his show, but the big line got going. Bozak, Kessel, Van Riemsdyk each score a goal. The Leafs win it going away.
And Bernier, the difference in the first 2 periods, Joe, no doubt about it, to keep the Leafs into the game, and then the Leafs scorers took over. And you're right, the Kessel line got hot the second half of the game. But the real story again, Jonathan Bernier.
36-26 the shots. What will concern the Leafs now is the health of Cody Franson. But the Leafs win it by a score of 4-0 here in Nashville. Back with more in a moment.